Okay. Good evening, everybody. Thank you very much for your time. My name is Stevie Aquilina. I am a Platinum Executive with ASEA from Sydney, Australia. It is my great privilege to introduce our very, very special speaker this evening. Joining us is a gentleman who is a genius in this industry with over 25 years of super successful achievements in this industry. And he's done it again in this organization. He's in the few months that he decided to pull the trigger with this organization you're going to learn about this evening, he has quickly risen to the top of not just Australia, but joining the top ranks of the world. He is extremely experienced. He knows more answers than I even know questions. And he's been brought up, taught, and mentored personally by some of the industry legends. And so it is my great pleasure to introduce to you this evening, Mr. Malcolm Sword, aka the Sword Master.
Cheers. Thank you, Stevie. That's a big rap to have to try and live up to. But thank you for the introduction. Welcome. Good evening, everyone. And just to give you a little bit of background or a little bit of information about the proceedings, I'm hoping that will be done in about 35 to 40 minutes. And so, firstly, thank you, Stevie, for organising the technology. Many of you listening to this call know that that's not one of my strong suits. Technology is not one of my strong suits. And so if you're listening on this webinar this evening and you're the same, it's not necessary to be high tech to be able to develop a business like this. I'm not saying it doesn't help, but you don't have to draw on that particular skill set. So let me just walk you through. I'm going to cover through a lot of information about ASEA, about the technology, about the window of opportunity. I specifically want to talk about the opportunity that we have both in this country and also as we move into the much larger market or much larger region of Asia, and the opportunity that this presents to every single one of us at this particular point of time. This is an incredible technology. It's an incredible breakthrough. It's a disruptive breakthrough. I won't ever see anything like this again in my lifetime. Some of you that may be in your early 20s may, but I won't see anything like this again in my lifetime. And because of that, I treat the business like that. I treat this like this is something that I need to build for my children and need to build in a hurry, and incredibly exciting. So let's just start. So this is being hailed as the redox, the technology of redox signaling molecules is being hailed as the greatest scientific and medical breakthrough of our lifetime. And if you're like me, the first time I heard that, I thought, wow, that's a very big statement. Having been with the company now for 2 years and seen so much in terms of what this product, this technology does for people, I'm very happy to make that statement and absolutely believe that statement to be true. Let's go on to the next page, Stevie, please. So this is a relationship-based business, a referral-based business model, exactly the same as if you went to a good movie, you talk about it. If you went to a bad movie, you might talk about that too. So if you go to a good restaurant, you recommend it. This is kind of the same. This is recommending something that's unique. Every one of us knows somebody that's financially not doing very well. Most of us know people that aren't traveling very well in terms of their health. But particularly, I want to cover the business aspects this evening. I'm really going to focus a lot on that. This opportunity will enable you to change whatever it is that ails you in your life. Some of you on this call may be looking at this because you want to make an extra $300 or $500 a month. For a lot of people, that would help enormously. Some of you on this call may be here because you want $5,000 a month. Some of you may be wanting $10,000 a month, and some of you may be looking to generate a six-figure a month income, and all of those are available here. This is free enterprise. This will be based on ultimately on your work ethic. Those of you that want to make the higher incomes will have to work harder than those that want to make a lesser income, and that's fair enough. That's the nature of free enterprise. So let's talk a little bit about the company. The company is called ASEA. The technology is called redox signaling molecules. ASEA is not only the global leader, it's the only company on the planet that produces these redox signaling molecules. What is interesting about these redox molecules is that they are native to the human body. Often people say to me, is this product, is it natural? I said, no, it's beyond natural. Natural would be acai juice or orange juice. Redox signaling molecules we have in our body, native to our body, and I'll talk a bit about that through the course of the presentation. But it was thought impossible to replicate, duplicate these molecules outside of the human body. It took this company, or the original biotech company, and then ASEA some 17 years before they were ultimately able to stabilize the technology. This company has done it. It's the only one of its kind in the world. So we take to market something that is not only disruptive, but it's also unique. Technology is very heavily protected with patents. In fact, there's only 5 people on this planet that know how to produce these redox molecules. So it's very secure, very safe. Completely non-toxic, I should say. The product is completely non-toxic. Normal drinking water is toxic. It has. If you drink enough of it, it can cause you problems. But this has no toxicity at all because it's native to the human body. So this is the company, and this is the technology we're going to be talking about this evening. Next slide, please, Stevie. So the founders of the company, the gentleman on the left, Virtus Norton, I first met Virtus Norton late October 2014. And I, together with a good friend of mine, Danny Doyle, went to look at this technology only for health reasons. I had a serious skin problem. Danny Doyle had a far more serious health problem. I won't go into that this evening. But nonetheless, the two of us ended up in the boardroom of this company late October 2014, only for health reasons. Neither of us were there at that time for commercial reasons, but we were there for health reasons. This man, Virtus Norton, had been the strategic vice president for Kraft Foods, an 80-something odd billion dollar company, US company, and he is rated as one of the who's who of American corporate business. Remains as one of the most outstanding human beings that I personally have ever met. And his son, Tyler, is the equal. These are just great men, great people, great leaders. And so somebody who's had the capacity and the experience of a Virtus Norton to be able to run this company through from where we are now, close to $100 million to $1 billion company over the next 5 years. Virtus Norton is used to running multi-billion dollar companies, so we're in very good hands. Next slide, Stevie, please. So the technology goes back, and I won't go into the whole history. There's a very good video that you can watch called The Genesis of ASEA. But this is based on many years of research. 25, 30 years ago, the redox signaling molecules were thought to be a waste product in the human body. And not much was known about them, but it was not thought that they were that significant. In 1990, 3 scientists actually won the Nobel Prize for really understanding, comprehending what the significance of the redox signaling molecules did in the human body. That was a very significant year. And then from there, a number of companies went after to try and replicate these redox signaling molecules outside of the human body. And after 17 years, there's one company that has done it. That's this company. It took over $17 million of research money. There's a whole story behind how Virtus became involved. Actually, he had retired from Kraft to Park City, where he retired. His wife had hoped he had retired. He was then invited to sit on the board of this biotech company, and one thing led to another. And within a couple of years, he ended up acquiring the technology, and that technology is now known as ASEA. So many years of research, many years of trial and error to stabilize this technology. Significant growth every year. The company was debt-free after 9 months, carries no long-term debt, very safe, very stable company, as you would expect from a man like Virtus Norton. Last year's sales were just shy of 100 million, and the forecast, I think on the next slide, the next sentence, the forecast is to be at $1 billion within the next 5 years. Now, here's our opportunity. Here is a technology that is heavily protected. We have no competitor. We're driving into Asia. It's like the perfect storm. Yes, it takes work. I'm not going to hide from that. Those of you that are on this call, if you want to do well and make a significant income from this, it's going to take some effort, as it should. But to take a company from 100 million to $1 billion, and this is a question that I ask people when I connect with them. I said, look, we're looking for people to help us to do that. And of course, there's a very large income to be derived as a result of doing that. So ASEA is perfectly positioned ahead of the growth that will come in the next few years, next 3 years, in the health, wellness, and anti-aging industry. This is where we position in these 3 very large markets. Here's a list of some of the key executives with the company, over 200 years of industry experience. And in all my years of being in business, I have never come across a better group of people with better morals, ethics, and the way they do business is phenomenal. I'm very grateful, very appreciative to be in business with these people. On the right-hand side, Steve, you can just put the next slide, or the next part of the slide. This is a Science Advisory Council. You notice a lot of these come from the medical background, from surgeons to research scientists to the chiropractors, lots of different people from the medical profession that are standing behind and helping to take this technology to market. And also, I don't know all of those people, but I know a lot of them. Also find people as we move this company and this technology forward. Thanks, Stevie. So this is a representation of the countries. It's a little, currently in 30 plus countries, that's right. I think now we're in a total of 32 countries. Some of them are not yet highlighted in blue, but we have actually just opened up into some of the Asian countries. We're open now in Taiwan, Singapore, Hong Kong, the Philippines, and also into Thailand. And over the next few years, we'll be moving into the rest of the Asian markets and gradually into the rest of the markets around the world. There's huge possibilities with this technology. Less than 1% of the population of the world actually even know about redox molecules. But let me take you back 30 years ago. Most of us on this call had never heard of antioxidants. Now pretty much everybody on the planet has heard of antioxidants. And this is where redox will be positioned 5 years from now, 7 years from now. Pretty much everybody on the planet will know of redox signaling molecules. So we're in the three of the world's biggest markets, three of the world's biggest industries: the health and wellness, beauty and anti-aging, and athletic performance. Over a $4 trillion business per year. So these products are perfectly positioned to take advantage of each of those specific areas. And as you can see, very, very big potential, very big market. Again, I want to emphasize these products have no toxicity. We have no toxins in these products. The molecules are native to the human body. You can't overdose on them. You can't be allergic to them because they're already native in your body. Athletes can't be tested. It's not a drug. It has no toxicity. So often I'm asked, has it got FDA approval? It'll never have FDA approval because it's not a drug. The only way you get FDA approval is if there's a level of toxicity in the product will actually kill you. It's called lethal dose. Has to have a level of toxicity that'll kill you. We have no lethal dose. We'll never be classified as a drug because it does not have any toxicity. So this is products that do things that no other products can do, because these are the only products in the world with redox signaling molecules. There's only two places on this planet that you will find redox signaling molecules. That is in your body, in the human body, and from a bottle of ASEA or in a tube of Renew 28. This is the only place you'll find these redox signaling molecules. So here's some visual evidence of the effects of using the Renew 28. Interestingly, the lady on the left of screen is a naturopath from Norway. And what we ask people to do is to take a before and after photo so that you can actually see the change. This lady, her name is Raidun from Norway. And those photos of the before and after photos, top is the before, obviously, and the bottom is after. That's after 3 weeks of use. And interestingly enough, she didn't think the product was doing anything for her until she went back to her original photo, and you can clearly see the difference in 3 weeks. And you can see the difference in various people's skin condition. And again, this was the reason that I went to see and look at this company in the first place, because have had a skin problem for many years. Thank you, Stevie. Next slide, please. So this is the skincare range. We have a Renew 28 topical gel. The marquee product is a drink. It's a supplement. We'll talk about that in a minute. But this is a skincare range. The two products on the left do not contain redox molecules. The two on the right do. The Renew 28 contains redox molecules. It's 5 times more potent, 5 times stronger than the supplement. And then the little bottle you see, which is actually rechanged, it's in a little needle nose tube now. That is the serum, and that's 5 times more concentrated than the Renew 28. And then the two other products on the left-hand side, ASEA introduced those because thousands upon thousands of ladies inside the organization wanted to have a complete skincare system. So these are the health and wellness. This is one of the biggest markets that we operate in. Most of us want to look younger, stay younger, and feel younger. Next slide, please, Stevie. This is the supplement. This is the marquee product. This was the first product that ASEA produced. This is the product. Took 17 years to stabilize. And let me just give you a brief indication as to how complex this was to stabilize. The best example I've ever heard of somebody explaining how this product is like, remember when we were kids, you'd get a couple of flints and you'd strike the flints to make a spark. It would be like me saying to you, Stevie, go and grab me an empty jar. I've got these 2 flints here. I'm going to strike the sparks into that jar. I'm going to put the lid on because I need to light a fire tomorrow somewhere. And you would say to me, well, that's impossible. And that's exactly what all the scientists said to Virtus when he was attempting to stabilize this technology. Every single one said it's impossible, you can't do it, it won't be done. And this company has done it with the help of an atomic medical physicist called Dr. Gary Samuelson, and we'll talk about him in a minute. Next slide, please, Stevie. So these are just some of the athletes. You can see in the top left, Cody Miller is an Olympian. Again, these are what this indicates to you is that these athletes are taking the product, have no risk about the drug test because it is not a drug. You can't be, it won't even show because it is native to the human body. So there's no problems any athlete taking these products whatsoever. Next slide, please. Okay, so those are two products. We've seen those before. So redox signaling molecules, which I mentioned are native to the human body. These molecules are naturally produced inside every cell. And what they do is they detect cell damage so they can be repaired or replaced, increase the cell's production of glutathione, which is the body's master antioxidant, and that protects against cell damage and oxidative stress. Fundamental for the immune system, protect against harmful bacteria, viruses, and infection. One of the things people ask, why do you drink these molecules if they're native to the human body? And the reason that we take these molecules is that we maximize the production of these redox signaling molecules at puberty, around 13, 15 in that area. And then every decade past, we drop production by about 10%. So at my age, I'm producing naturally about 15 to 20% of the redox molecules that I was producing when I was at puberty. But now I can top up these molecules to have the same levels that I was producing when I was between 13 and 15. And so that's why we drink these molecules. It's so that we can top our bodies up with these native redox signaling molecules. Next slide, please, Stevie. So many of you may not, if you're here for the first time, never have heard of this. Most people, if you walk down the main street of your town or your city, ask 100 people, do you know anything about redox molecules? Most people will say never heard of it. And there's our opportunity. And again, antioxidants 30 years ago, most people hadn't heard of those either. There's over 16,000 peer-reviewed articles and over 1,200 books now been published on redox signaling molecules. It's probably one of the fastest growing areas of science, medical science. And for decades, scientists try to produce redox molecules outside of the body, but deemed impossible. As I mentioned before, Virtus called many of the leading universities and scientists around America, and they all said, Virtus, don't go there. You won't be able to do it. But the company has, and the result is this company called ASEA. Millions of dollars, over $17 million were invested in the research to stabilize these molecules in perfect balance to exactly as they found. Redox molecules are redox molecules. The redox molecules you have in your body are identical to the redox molecules produced by this company, ASEA. Next slide, please. So very heavy patents. We've got dozens of overlapping patents rolling forward 20 years. So commercially, that's the point I want to make. We have a disruptive technology. We have no competitor in this space. There is nothing like this. We don't compete with anything else. If you went into any other relationship marketing, if you went into the super juice market, for example, there's 148 different super juices. And I don't doubt many of them are very good, but it's a very incredibly competitive space. We don't have any competition in this space. There is no other company on the planet that produces these molecules, heavily protected. The process to produce these molecules is 3 days. And I just want to share with you something at this stage. Some of you, if you're here for the very first time, one of the things often people do when they look at this technology is they'll go and do a Google search. And just let me share with you that Google is a search engine. It is not a research engine. You know, people can put anything they like up on the Google. And one of the leading comments somebody put up there is that, oh, this is just expensive salt water. So the base elements of this technology is pristine salt and pristine water, exactly as they are in the human cells. Then it goes through a 3-day chemical molecular restructuring to produce these redox signaling molecules. Now, let me give you 3 reasons why when the end product in this bottle of ASEA, that is not salt water. Number one, the best test you can do is spray salt water into your right eye and tell me how that feels. Your right eye will be weeping, it'll be sore, it'll be bloodshot. And then spray redox signaling molecules into your left eye. I promise you, you will notice a difference. Your left eye will be soothed, it'll feel nice, and your right eye will be not feeling nice. It'll be sore and bloodshot. The second reason, reason you can way you can answer that question is how on earth do you get multiple dozens of patents on salt water? I mean, it's ridiculous. How does ASEA go to the patents office and say, "Oh, look, I'd like patents on salt water, please"? It's ridiculous. But people say these things. Again, you can say anything, but please do more research than just that. And the third reason, answer to that question is that this company, BioAgilytix, which is a third-party company, nothing to do with ASEA. And BioAgilytix actually works for 20 of the top 25 pharmaceutical companies, and every single batch that ASEA produces is certified by BioAgilytix to be full of these redox signaling molecules. Thanks, Stevie. Next slide, please. That plant, by the way, is in Utah. So this is the gentleman that I was mentioning, and Danny and I met this man when we were in the boardroom back in late October 2014. An incredible human being, very, very clever man. And he was in large part responsible for stabilizing these redox signaling molecules. He's written this book called The Science of Healing Revealed. And if you just go a little bit further on this slide, I just want to read what he said. The redox... I can just move this. The redox signaling process is remarkable because it's a process that allows us to regenerate tissue and maintain our normal function and capacities. This technology, redox molecules, has the potential to spearhead the greatest advances in health we have ever seen. About 3 months ago, I heard an interview with Dr. Gary Samuelson. And for those of you that know him, or if you don't know him, he is a very humble man. And he is not prone to exaggerate. He is not. He is a very grounded, very level human being. And he made a comment on that webinar. He said, "I believe that this may be the greatest medical breakthrough that we will see for the next 100 years. Not 100 years past, but 100 years forward." Very significant statement. So we have something very significant on our hands in terms of the commercial opportunity. It is massive, as I hope to be able to share with you this evening. Next slide, Stevie, please. We've covered this. So this is the skincare range. Again, no toxicity. Many of you will be aware that traditional skincare regimes, they use chemicals to plump the skin. Of course, those chemicals are poisons and go into the bloodstream. We have none of that. That is a major breakthrough with this technology. No toxicity. Next slide, please. Let's keep moving through, Stevie, so I can get through it on time. Thank you. Okay, we call this man the half-face man. You can see that he applied the Renew 28 on one side of his face, his right side, which is on your screen, is your left side. But have a look at his glasses. It's like he's had a facelift one side, and also you can see clearly the graining in the skin on the left-hand side of his face as opposed to the right-hand side of his face. I'm told now that he is now using the Renew 28 on his whole face so that his glasses are even up and he can see properly. So this is a result very quickly. This is 6 days. Some people respond very quickly with this technology. Probably about 5 to 10% respond really within a week. Then 30% in 30 days, 60% of people in 60 days, 90% in 90 days. Sometimes people take a little bit longer. My dear old auntie, for example, it was some 3-4 months before she had a major breakthrough using this technology. But most people will see major results using either the supplement or the Renew 28 within 90 days. Again, you can see skin issues. Okay, just go back to that next slide. This was a challenge that I had. I won't mention the name of this, but some of you might know what the skin disorder is. And I acquired this after a very bad industrial accident when I was 19 years of age. Went to lots of doctors, and every single one I said, well, it's an autoimmune problem, you'll never get rid of it. And so that was the reason that I went to meet with the owners of this company and the scientists back in 2014. Again, when Danny and I went to meet the owners and the scientists, we were there for health reasons, not commercial reasons at that time anyway. Next slide, Stevie, thank you. So here's a lady with 3, looks like blemishes, moles, and of course you can focus on those. But have a look at her neck too. Look at the wrinkles on the photo on the left at the bottom of her neck, and the increased elasticity that she's now got in the right-hand picture. Often people miss that because they're really focused on the red square. But it's amazing the difference that it'll make in the overall skin tone. These are clinical results. One of the things that we can do is we can prove results externally. It's harder to do that internally. But this is the same product, redox molecules or redox molecules. If you just go on a little bit further, next bit, So, and then, thank you. So on the left-hand side, this was research conducted by a US company called Stevens and Associates on the Renew 28 4-week study. And these are the results: 16% skin cell renewal, 50% improvement in blood flow, 23% improvement in smoothness, 23% improvement in wrinkle depth, and 20% improvement in elasticity. On the right-hand side, this is a trial done by a German company called Dermatest. And one of the things that's interesting about Dermatest is they will not give a 5-star rating to any product if one of the recipients, one of the respondents, has any issue, any problem, any skin problem at all. And so after 4 weeks, 90% of the trial participants said they wanted to purchase the products, and those are the reasons why. They're 100% improvement in fine lines, 95%. I mean, those are high markers. And again, take those same markers and apply the same thinking in terms of what these redox molecules do on the outside and apply them to the inside as well. And you get an idea of just how powerful and significant this technology is. So this is the marquee product. This was the first product that ASEA produced. This is the supplement, and replenishes redox signaling molecules. People that report, and assuming there's nothing wrong with people, they report less fatigue, better sleep, improved health, improved mood, and less discomfort. Next slide, please, Stevie. Also, many athletes are using the technology, using the product. Athletic performance improved, endurance, strength, recovery, exactly what all athletes are looking for. They're looking for an advantage. Here is an advantage they can get. Taking a product that is completely non-toxic, can't hurt anybody, can't overdose on it. So it's absolutely perfect for athletes. Next slide, please. Okay, so here's some of the athletes globally that are using the product. There's a website there you can look at if you want to look at more detail. Next slide, please, Stevie. So just go on to the next bit here. This is a report that came out about May or June of 2016 from the Huffington Post. And this was what got reported in the Huffington Post. Here are 5 of the craziest game-changing technologies that are starting to take off in 2016. Pay attention. Some of these will shape our lives in the coming years. And you'll notice redox signaling technology is number 4. Now, there is no other company on the planet other than ASEA that produces these redox signaling molecules. You won't get them anywhere else. You won't see them anywhere else. And the only place that you can get these redox molecules is from this company, ASEA. Redox signaling molecules have been around for eons, excuse me, but it isn't until recently that we've learned about their central importance in our health on a cellular level. New technology, ASEA, is emerging that inserts healthy redox signaling molecules into your body, helping to repair and replenish your aging cells. Since we're made up entirely of cells, every organ in the body can potentially benefit from this new technology. And again, only ASEA has this product. So let's go on to a little bit of the business model, the business plan, and you can generate very serious income by introducing contacts to ASEA. Now, there's a way of building this, and the best way of building a business like this is to look for key people, look for leaders. The way I build the business, I look for as if I'm setting up a board of directors, setting up any other company. I look for my board of directors. I look for people who are motivated. I look for people who are entrepreneurial. I look for people that are wanting to develop a significant residual income. So I'm not looking for customers. I look for the leaders, and the customers flow from that anyway in terms of the conversations we have. Not everybody wants to necessarily build a business. Some people are just very happy to use the product and stay on the product. So this is a little bit like recommending a movie or restaurant. You refer people exactly as you would. You recommend a good movie or a nice restaurant, and you get paid on the volume. So every time we introduce somebody onto the product, when you find a leader that develops the business, we get paid for volume. So the more people we have in our organizations, the more income that we will generate. It's free enterprise. So you refer your contacts to us. We build this as a team. We build this collectively. One of the things I would encourage you to do is to get together with the person that invited you and meet with some of the leaders in the organization who can help you to set up a game plan. Some of you here might be looking at this because you want to make an extra $50 a month. Some of you might be wanting $500 a month. Some of you might be here because you want $100,000 a month, and all of those are very possible. Many people are doing those kind of figures with this company around the world. And so you take from this exactly what you want. It's a smorgasbord. So we're not leading you any particular direction. The idea of sharing this with you is so that it can be a vehicle for you to allow it to do what you want it to do for your family, whether that's a little bit of extra money or a lot of extra money. You might want a part-time income, or you might want to take out income where this is all you do. It's all that I do now. I've been involved now for 2 years with a CEO developing this business. We are in a brilliant position ahead of the launch into Asia and many other countries around the world. But the benefit is to create this residual income, and you create residual income by building organizations. So 3 people won't do it. If you've got to introduce 3 people, that's not going to be enough to develop a significant residual income. But 3 people lead to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 30, 30 to 50, 50 to 200, 200 to 500 when built properly, to 1,000 and so on. And that's how it works. It also works globally. You know, the way the business works, and with technology today, we're part of a global society. And so it's very easy to spread the message and get the word around the world. I do regular Zoom calls. I was on a Zoom yesterday to somebody in Los Angeles. I do regular Zooms into Europe. With technology, it's very easy to build this globally. So in this way, we build distribution channels around the world, and the channels start with you, referring positive people to the team. So this is kind of how you build your distribution channels. Just keep going with this, Stevie, and you'll see that we have the ability to build these distribution channels into all the various markets, now into Asia, into the Americas, into Europe, around Australia. An incredibly exciting time to be with this business as we now take this technology into the world. And really, it's still very early days, even in this region, especially in this region. We've literally only really just started in some of these Asian countries. So you are seeing this at the right time. The Asian market, in my opinion, will be massive, and to be Johnny on the spot with this opportunity right now is phenomenal. Next slide, Stevie, please. So what you do is completely up to you. The business is designed to do part-time around your existing schedule. Most people start like that. The initial investment is $60, so it's not capital-based. Oftentimes people say how much money I need. It's not a capital-based business. It's an enterprise-based business. So you build this based on effort, not on money, which is great leveler. So it means anybody can come to this business, whether they've got money or not, and make a very substantial income by their efforts. So this is based on work ethic, not having capital. So the various product packages, I won't go into those. You can get together with the person who invited you, but there are various product packages depending on how serious, if you like, what you want to build the business. There are also tax advantages, especially May and June. Some of these packs, you'll get a full tax deduction on them. So it's a good time to start looking at some of those packages, ahead of the end of the financial year. I won't go into all the different income streams. You can see on the left at the bottom, immediate income to part-time, and then on the right, full-time to unlimited income. Really, the sky is the limit, the compensation plan. Actually, I said this to Danny recently, and he corrected me. I said, the comp plan maxes at $1 million a month. Actually, he said, no, it goes way beyond that. I mean, those are big numbers. Most of us on the call probably can't even relate to those kind of numbers, but possibly there will be people that'll do that. Maybe some of you young bucks on the call will have plenty of time to be able to max out the compensation plan. Lots of rewards available in the business, lots of travel for those of you who like to travel. A lot of these trips are absolutely complimentary, based on qualification, based on effort. It's very fair. Anybody can qualify. In fact, one of these trips, the one that last year to the Bahamas, the #1 qualifier in the world came from Australia. And the one we've just come back from, Los Cabos in Mexico, the #1 qualifier in the world also came from Australia. So we are part of the fastest growing business in the world. We work very closely with Danny Doyle, who last year was the #1 builder in the world. So we're in a very good place. Very good timing ahead of not just Asia, but the world. So you are very much in the right place at the right time. But now, of course, it's really about what you will do with this opportunity. Business is simple. It's not complicated. It's a person-to-person business. It really is a matter of just communicating with people and understanding some people are looking, some people aren't, some people are ready to go, some people aren't. That's just numbers. It really is just looking through the numbers. It's extremely simple. One of the things I would encourage you to do is to get together with somebody that's experienced. find somebody in your support team that is experienced at building these organizations and work with them, learn from them, be mentored by somebody that's walked before you. There are lots of people in this organization who have had lots and lots of experience developing these organizations. And we have lots of training events to teach you, if you're not experienced in this industry, to teach you how to build these kind of businesses. We all started associate 2 years ago. It's kind of where I started. And then you work your way up the mountain based on, the kind of income that you want to earn. I'll give you a couple of examples, and these are average examples, but you can see at the bronze executive level, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dots up. The income at that level will be about $2,500 to $3,000 a month. Go up another 3 dots to the platinum executive. A good platinum executive will earn somewhere between $12,000 and $14,000 per month. And then you keep going on up the mountain. The top of that mountain shows triple diamond, but actually there's another 6 ranks beyond there. Until about 12 months ago, 14 months ago, triple diamond was the top of the mountain, but now there's because of the movement into the world, there's now 6 other ranks on top of those ranks. So in terms of how much you want to earn, the sky is the limit based on your ability to work and your free enterprise spirit. Next slide, please, Stevie. So when you enroll, when you open your account here, again, it's not expensive to open your account. You will receive a virtual office, your own personal web page with an online shop. Very simple. I can run it really well. If I can run it really well, I promise you that you will be able to run it really well. As I mentioned at the start of the webinar, high tech is not one of my skill sets, but this website I can drive really easily. It's very straightforward. So here's some of the packs. I won't go into these. Let's keep moving through. You want to talk to the person who invited you about those packs. Lasea will become one of the biggest companies within the health, wellness, and anti-aging industries of all time. Absolutely, that I believe that statement. And that'll be dependent whether you believe it or what you do with it is really up to you. But many of us on this webinar absolutely believe this. We absolutely believe we're positioned at the right place at the right time. And in summary, Lasea is already the biggest and fastest growing company within the redox signaling health technology arena. Actually, it's the only one, so it has to be the fastest. It's the only one. Products are patented, consumables, significantly better people's lives, currently used by hundreds of thousands of people, over 100 million dollars in sales last year. And here's the growth, so 100 million to 1 billion. So the opportunity we're bringing to you is to invite you to help us to do this. So from 100 million to 1 billion, that's $900 million worth of extra business. How much of that would you like? And that will depend exactly on the lifestyle demands that you want for your family, how much income that you want to have, where you see yourself being in the next 12 months, 18 months, 2 years, and the kind of lifestyle you'd like to have. Established in over 30 countries, expanding over 50 in the next few years, less than 1% of the population of the markets we currently know about us. We will have over 1 million associates in the next 5 years. And thousands of people will have the opportunity of being financially independent and achieving financial independence using this business model. Your reward is a percentage of the revenue in your distribution channels. Again, it's based on numbers, on volume, and we get remunerated by volume. So the larger the organizations that we develop, then the higher the income that we will earn. No secret to that. It's just effort, really. It's just based on work ethic. Time for action. So next step, if there's another. Okay, let's just do a little bit of quick start training. I'm probably about 2 or 3 minutes away, and then we're done. So your mindset, we're looking for people who are ready to go right now. So I like to share this with people who look at this and kind of look at me and say, Mel, I don't care what you're doing. I'm all over this. I'm gonna build this right now. And we look for those people. We look for the people, the timing is right for them, position's right. Like they recognize the window of opportunity we have with this technology, category creator, disruptive technology, no competitor. It's a very, very unique time for us as we drive this technology to market. Next slide, please, Stevie. So sometimes when you start building a business like this, as you connect with people, contact people, some people are going to say yes, some people are going to say no. But I want to make the comparison that if you have a traditional business, a plumbing business or a plumbing contractor, and you go out this next week and quote 10 jobs, you won't get 10 jobs. You might get 3 jobs, but you don't go and slash your wrists or complain about that. That's just what it is. And it's exactly the same with this, is that not everybody you're going to talk to is going to on board with you. Some will, some won't, but some will. And it's just level out the emotion, avoid the tops and the bottoms, just work the numbers, just be diligent, just be persistent, and avoid the roller coaster of the high highs and the low lows. I'm very methodical about this. I understand when I connect with people, sometimes it's the right timing for them and other times it's not. If it's not, that's fine. I'll go back to them some other time down the track. People's circumstances do change. But in the meantime, I just keep moving, looking for the people that are looking for an opportunity right now. And it's just processing numbers. Next slide, Stevie, please. So when we build a business like this, we come across three types of people, and we'll call them like the three apples: the red apples, green apples, and rotten apples. The red apples are the yeses. You share this opportunity with them, and people just get it. They just understand it. They do some research, and they kind of understand the significance of this breakthrough, and they say, yes, okay, I'm ready to go. Now, red apples will attract red apples. The green apples ask questions. It's fine, nothing wrong with that. But if people ask questions, when I'm working with them, I said, look, my aim is to either move you on to an associate and open an account for you, and we're going to get going, or we're going to move you down to somebody who's not ready to go or not really looking at this particular point of time. And then we've got the third group. They're kind of rotten apples. Now, they're not rotten people. Some people just are not looking. They're not in the looking zone. They don't want to change anything in their life. They might complain a lot about their finances and their lack of opportunity, but they don't want to do anything to find it or change anything. So they're the kind of people. It's a little bit like the dog on the nail, lying on the nail. It's kind of uncomfortable, but I can't be bothered to move. Nothing wrong. That's fine. People like that, that's fine. We're not really looking for them, and they're not really looking for us. Next slide, Stevie, please. So like attracts like in a business like this, and you're going to find all different kinds of apples when you build a business. If you're a red apple, you're going to attract red apples. But in the process, you will go through the numbers. So you're going to find some people that are yes, some people are no, some people are maybe, but you're really looking for these red apples. Next slide, please. So you find the red apples, and laws of attraction, red apples find red apples. So monkeys produce monkeys, fish produce fish. Leaders, red apples, produce red apples. Leaders find leaders. So just go on to the next couple of slides. Okay, so the red apples are going to find the red apples. So there's you. You're going to attract other red apples, and eventually you're going to have all of these red apples dotted through your organization, because one will attract another, and that's the duplication and the leverage that we find from building a business like this. And the process is to find these red apples. They're out there. And so it's just going through the numbers. So this is a major conference. If you are planning on building the business, let me recommend that this would be probably one of the most significant things that you could do this year. That is to attend the annual ASEA convention in Dallas between September the 6th and the 8th this year. And I attended the one last year in Salt Lake City, and thousands upon thousands upon thousands of ASEA associates around the world gather to listen to some of the top builders of this business on the planet. And I'm talking about income earners making multiple millions of dollars every single year. And I go there to learn. I go there to learn how to, develop an organization that's larger and better and faster, to be able to produce the kind of lifestyle that I would like to have for my children. So what now? Call the person who invited you and open your account. Join us. This is a great journey. This is an unbelievable company. It is the finest company that I've ever been associated with in my commercial life. I'm so grateful to have this opportunity. I hope that in what I've been able to share with you this evening, that it's helped you. And please get back together with the person that invited you onto this webinar. If you want more information, that person can send it to you. It's been my pleasure to share it with you this evening. And in closing, I just want to say thank you to you, Stevie, for hosting this and doing all the technology. Without you, I wouldn't be able to do this. So I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And I hope that's helped you. And good night, everybody. Thank you very much for listening. I hope it's helped you.
Thank you very much, Swordmaster. That was absolutely amazing. And thank you, everyone, for your attention this evening. We wish you a very good evening. Bye for now.